learning about huge devastation on the island of Dominica as well. We're now seeing it firsthand. CNN is the only U.S. news organization to get there and see the damage. CNN's Michael Holmes is in the capital tonight, joins us now. Michael, what's it like?
I tell you, Anderson, we flew over this island yesterday, and we could see from the air every inch of this island was touched by Hurricane Maria. Today we managed to get on the ground. I can tell you that power is out right across the island. We're actually in the Prime Minister's office broadcasting to you now because they have a generator and they kindly allowed us to work out of here. When we came in, we had about 2 or 3 hours of daylight left. I can tell you, I've been to a lot of disasters. I've covered a lot of war zones. It is really bad here. There's not a building, it seems, in this country that has not been touched. Every tree has either been knocked to the ground or had the foliage stripped off it. 3 of the 4 bridges that come into the capital here from the airport are unusable because of debris and damage. This is a nationwide catastrophe. Dominica was the first place that was hit. They were expecting maybe a Cat 2, Cat 3. They got a Cat 5. Nobody's ready for that. They had tried to pre-position, get people ready for this. But this is a mountainous country. There's a lot of individual villages and towns dotted around, and they have absolutely been decimated. And so we've been to a number of places through Irma and through Maria covering all of this. This is the worst by far I've ever seen. There is great need here.
Yeah, I mean, Michael, these pictures are just extraordinary, just block after block of destruction. What about supplies, aid to people? I mean, are there flights coming in with that? Is there, we haven't seen many people on the ground even in these images. Or are people able to get food, water, the basics?
Yeah, USAID is on the ground, UKAID is on the ground. We've seen them, but in terms of aid actually arriving, I got to say, they were expecting to get aid starting to come in from St. Lucia today. It is a trickle, if anything. They are in desperate need of everything from food and water. There's no running water here. The Prime Minister was travelling around the country. He said the first thing everybody asked him, can we get some fresh water, something to drink? The aid need is incredible here, and they're going to need to start choppering things in, bringing it in by boat, because they have and one other thing that was interesting, and it sort of speaks to the character of the people here. When Irma went through, they had 3 big containers here in Dominica that was full of supplies, food aid, medical aid and the like. They shipped those containers off to other places, St. Martin, Tortola, who were in need. They also shipped over their power linesmen, their electrical engineers, to help get power up on those islands. So then they get hit here. They have nothing as backup. So that they don't even have the aid they'd had in storage here because they gave it to other places more in need, Anderson.
Well, I understand you spoke with the Prime Minister today. What did he say?
You know, he's shell-shocked. I mean, he's a very stoic man and a very strong man, but he is shell-shocked by the breadth of what has happened to his country and his people. Have a listen to part of the interview.
Every single village, every single community, every single street has been impacted by this hurricane. No community in Dominica has been spared by this monster of a hurricane.
And what he's saying there, Anderson, is true from what we've seen. And the flyover was instructive yesterday. Being on the ground makes it that much more real and that much more impactful to us. But what we saw from the air in flying around the entire island, village after village, town after town, mudslides we saw. The other thing about this place, it was a place of utter beauty. They had rainforests. They were starting an ecotourism. Those, you can't see them anymore, Anderson. They're gone. Every tree is knocked down or stripped of foliage. The economy here is agriculture-based. They have cane sugar. They have banana plantations, citrus, gone. Everything gone. Now that speaks to an economic impact that's going to last for years. The Prime Minister actually heading to the UNGA tomorrow, and he's going to be making a plaintive cry for international assistance for this country. Not only do they have immediate needs, their entire industry of agriculture, the tourism industry that they were trying to build up around those rainforests, gone, Anderson. So gone for years.
Are there people still living in shelters, or people? There's so many of so much damage. It looks like in a lot of places people aren't going to be able to live in their homes.
No, they're not. And, you know, there's a lot of homes that have just been ripped apart. We saw homes today when we were coming in that were just, well, splinters. I mean, there were pieces of wood on the side of hillsides. People are sheltering with relatives, with families, in government buildings where they can. But there's not a lot of places they can go because pretty much everything around here has been damaged. And so that, yeah, they're in the open. We saw people bathing in muddy rivers today. There was a leaky pipe, and people were gathered under that trying to get water. It's an urgent situation here. I mean, we brought in some stuff that we were giving away just to, you know, try to lend a hand. If it goes on like this for a number of days without appreciable aid coming in, there's going to be a real problem here in Dominica, Anderson.
Oh, Michael, I'm glad you're there. We'll continue to bring reports from there. When we come back, breaking news.